we're going to go talk about American Reunion. Scott went and saw this timeless classic, the fourth in the series. What is it about?
Am I the only one that saw this movie?
Well, I'm sure there's other people in America that
No, I mean on the show. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, so American Reunion's the fourth movie in the American Pie franchise, and I know a lot of people, including Aaron, let out a unanimous groan when this was originally announced. Like, why do we need another one of these? But it begs to be said for me that the original American Pie was released about the time I graduated from high school. And I know Justin wants to kill me right now for saying that, but this is a time in my life when I was like breaking away from my parochial school roots and that kind of thing.
He's gonna make it the Scott podcast.
No, just give me a second.
I still had a little apple goo on his dong.
Oh, you could take it there, really?
So I love this movie as a kid simply because it was so raunchy. I'd never seen anything like it, and I actually saw Porky's like way later and after this movie came out. So, with that said, I went into this movie expecting this to be a guilty pleasure kind of thing. Like I was gonna like it just because of nostalgia, and there was some of that there, but. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this film. They didn't try nearly as hard for the bad jokes as they did in, especially the second and third movies. So a lot of the laughs felt very genuine. I was genuinely laughing, not just because.
What's it about?
What's it about?
Yeah.
Well, it's just what it sounds like. American Reunion. It's all the cast of the characters basically from the original American Pie. Well, the main ones kind of get together. They're going to a class reunion, school reunion back at their old high school. And this is 10 years later, 10 or 12 years later. And, Jim is married to, Allison Hannigan's character. They've now got a child. Each of the four main characters, the one guy was a jock. The one guy was, what would you call him? What would you call that? They call him Shitbrick in the show. He's, so you got all these different characters, and they kind of decide to meet together at the reunion, and typical stuff happens. Stifler acts like an asshole, like normal. Poor Jim, just bad stuff happens to him all the time, usually sexually related. Still.
Doesn't he have like two kids in this movie?
He's got one, but what happens is he's not even trying to do anything or not trying to get into trouble, and it's genuinely funny what happens. It's a lot of fun, but what makes this movie so good is that how much they included everybody from the original, and which to me is arguably the best one in the series.
They're all free.
What's that?
They're all free.
None of them are booked.
Yeah, none of them are booked.
Well, yeah, that was a lot of it. That's kind of yeah. I'm sure it was a little hard to get a hold of Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah, Tara Reid's available too. From what I hear.
Oh, yeah, what is she doing? Sure, and like I said, a lot of them were cameos, and but still, it was cool that they got nearly the entire gang together because like the last two, especially, were really bad. I thought, like especially American Wedding, was just not good. It was very awkward.
It wasn't funny at all.
It wasn't really funny. This felt genuinely funny, and it didn't seem too forced as the others did. I think the second wasn't too bad, but the American Wedding was just like they're trying too hard. This was a nice backup to go there. So there couldn't have been a more apt title for this flick. I mean. It really felt like a reunion of a group of characters that I've known for over 10 years.
Does he fuck a pie?
No, it's not fuck a pie. I'm sorry, but
I kind of feel disappointed at this point.
But there's plenty of stuff that things happen to different characters that actually made it for a clever writing instead of just cheap sex jokes. I mean, there was some funny stuff that like kind of things you wanted stuff to happen to characters in the previous ones, and they kind of finally do.
Yeah.
And at the risk of sounding cheesy, it ended on a very heartwarming note.
Did it end like, okay, we realize this is the last one?
Yes and no. I mean, they kind of opened it up for like, maybe we should, get together once a year kind of thing and all meet here.
Just in case for a huge success?
Yeah, exactly. You know how like at the end of the movie, or in the first one, they all sit at the table and the next step kind of thing. So you knew there was going to be a sequel. They kind of end it that way, this one in that same fashion, but it's tied up enough that if they don't do another one, it's fine. So I guess it depends on how well it does, which we'll talk about in a little while. But a lot of my like for this movie stemmed from the fact that the characters are starting to get old, just like me. So I could relate to them very, very easily. They're coming back and they're seeing all the high school kids now, and they're kind of the outcast kind of group. The characters don't look as attractive in this as they did 10 years ago. I mean, obviously, but they make them look even worse than they do in real life, I think, a little bit just to...
So older women are automatically uglier than younger women? Is that what we're saying?
Yes. No,
Is
no,
that the
of course not.
takeaway?
Of course not.
I wasn't going there, but
Wow.
I don't know. This is a
No,
movie that
he's saying that the characters they look older. They look worn.
Even the guys. I mean, they just don't look as young and attractive as they did in the first movie when they were supposed to be in high school, and now they're in their mid to late 30s, and they're not looking as good anymore, and they're not looking as attractive as the new fresh actors in the movie. So.
Well, not to mention you already had like 26-year-olds playing high school students the first time.
Right.
So,
right. So
they're
all,
probably 64 years old by now.
So this movie was exactly what I needed, to be honest with you. I went and saw this with a buddy of mine, and I just laughed out loud throughout. I had a lot of fun with it. The awkward moments felt just as awkward as in the first one. It's getting a solid 9.0 for me. And the reason it's not getting a perfect score for me is I can't in good conscience give any movie that has Tara Reid in it a perfect score.